used to think that I was mad. We can't understand you two. One minute she's going to kill you, but if I say something to Patsy about you, she want to kill me. And they could never understand how we got on. Howard Alfred Shelley. I was born in West Bromwich, part of Birmingham. My parents, Alfred Shelley and Margaret Shelley. Well, I'm an only child. My mum worked at the Hercules cycle factory in Birmingham, and my father worked at General Electric Company. My dad always used to get me to put these bets on for him with a local bookie when I was a kid, and I consequently bet on horses all my life, much to my despair at times. Not very successfully, I tell you. My grandmother, my father's mother, she lived in West Bromwich. She was a miner's wife. My memories of her is just sitting by the stove with the kettle on. She was a very severe woman in black, and they heard she'd been playing around with some bloke. And when we walked down there this day, we found we were in the midst of a bit of a family business. She sat there and looked at us all, and she was a top old bird. Although she was playing around with a bloke, she was a top old bird. And she said, "Alfred," I could see. She didn't get up and bomb herself, mind you. And Alfred had to get up and make the tea and look after us while she sat down and had court, the rest of you could listen to me. On our holidays, which in those days consisted of 1 week, that's all people got off. Dad would rush home on the Friday night. We'd grab a suitcase, jump on the train and go down to Torquay, and my greatest pleasure was the company of donkeys on the beach. I was 14 when I left school. You had to always start 14, unless you were clever enough to go to secondary college, which I wasn't. I went to work for a plumber, and I got 10 shillings and 6pence a week, and which I had to hand over to my mum every Friday because things were tight. All my friends were working in munition factories and earning good money. I thought, well, this is no good. They're going to dances and pubs. So my mother got me a job at the cycle factory. The war started. I was conscripted into the army, and I was posted up to Catholic Camp in Yorkshire. I walked into the canteen in Catholic Camp, and this young lady was behind the counter, Mary Bernadette Woodgate. She was in the Women's Army Corps, so a bit of banter started, a bit of cheek, and I finished up marrying her. My wife was Irish, County Kilkenny, and she loved a good argument or a good fight. She'd fight anybody. You upset her and boy, were you in trouble. You could have been 6'4", and she was 5'2". Yeah. She wasn't a bad looker, was she? Different to me. I remember the duty officer and the duty sergeant come marching down. "Where's Trooper Shelley? We understand you have a girlfriend in the ATS, Private Woodgate." I said, "Yes, what's she done now?" And he said, "Well, you better come with me." And we went into the cookhouse, and there is Patsy with a knife. Patsy took offence at something this girl said, and it got a bit more than fisticuffs. Patsy was going to kill it. What for, I don't know. I could sweet talk her, and so I had a chat with her. And then Patsy dropped the knife. We did calm her down, and they took her away, and she got 7 days to Jankers. She had to go down the cookhouse and sit there all day with a big bags and bags of potatoes, carrots and peels them all day long. But she was lucky she didn't get caught. She got away with that. It'd been like a civilian court, she'd have been in big trouble. But I remember when we first finished our training, we all gathered together, bonged on a train, and given a kit bag of some kitty dads, and we were going overseas because the war was in full swing then. Unfortunately, was where we were going. We thought we were going out to Birmingham, out that way, because of the clothing we were issued, light khaki, not heavy. We were travelling through the night, the train pulled into a station, the red caps got on, the hated red caps. That's the military police, and they just said, "You there, line up out on the station." We were marched up down the road a little way. The train went with the rest of the boys on it, and most of those boys were there, unfortunately, killed. Absolute pure luck. I was in the army 5.5 years and never fired a shot in anger. I never went abroad. I was always stationed. They moved me around, and I was one of the fortunate ones. I went to a place in Torquay in Surrey, fighting there called Proving Establishment. It's where the factories were rapidly making tanks and armoured cars, and they used to rush prototypes down there, and we had to test them. We'd jump in a tank or a car, trying to bash the car up, not smash it up like dent-wise, but drive it as hard as you could and make it break down. They found out why it broke down and made sure it didn't break down again. We had friends, and myself and the husband went for a beer. The two women were having cups of tea at home and God knows what. When we got back to the house, after being in the pub, the place was strewn with papers. It was all about going to Australia. The couple were going to emigrate, and so by the time I got home that night, I found we were going to emigrate. And we got on the Fair Sky and came out to Australia. My father was on his own then. He came to see us up on the ship. And Southampton was the last time I saw my father. We were riding in Fremantle, and so we got off the ship. There was a line of desks and that on the wharf. I walked up to the bloke and put my hand and had to shake hands with him. He just ignored it. And I said I was a truck driver, which by that time I was. He said, "Truck drivers are 10 a penny there. We need people in the building trade." And I said to him, "Well, that's nice, isn't it, to tell me now? I'm here with 2 girls, my wife and 2 girls." He said, "But if you don't want to get out there, if you go back on the ship, vice versa, and the ship will go to Adelaide or Melbourne or Brisbane, and after that you're on your own, you go back to England again." I thought this was a great introduction, considering you're asking for migrants to come, but that's the sort of greeting we got. And that's what we did at dinner. We got on, and when we got to Melbourne, they called us up. It was a different reception altogether. Had an interview, and we got put in the huts that used to be behind the exhibition building. And he called me in the office. He said, would you take a job in a factory? And I said, I'll take any job. That's what I came for. And up there in Albert Street, there was a factory, A.G. Healing. They made televisions and radios and things like that. They said, yeah, we'll give you a job. And then they also said, if your wife's looking for a job, we can give her a job. And I started working life there and worked there for 20 years.